Hello everyone, today is February 14th, 2026, and the first thing I want to say is thank you very much, very much, to Jasper for the $50 donation. The donations that you guys give us, that you gave me, it's invaluable to us. I just can't express enough every day how appreciative we are, how much it helps us, from getting food, from helping us to have somewhere to sleep, to have a shelter, for the things that we need or whatever. And so again, your donations are valuable and invaluable and very much appreciated. So thank you to everybody who donates. Thank you very much to Jasper again for the $50 donation. Very much appreciated. As always, if anyone else would like to donate, there's a PayPal link on my channel page. That's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is Happy Valentine's Day. It's Valentine's Day here in the United States, and that's not the main point of this video about Valentine's Day. I'm going to talk about it's been 1 month since I lost my job. And so that's going to be the main talking point of this video. But since it is Valentine's Day, so I just want to say Happy Valentine's Day to all the couples out there, or even to the singles out there. Maybe you still celebrate Valentine's Day. And I'm going to say, I honestly don't know a lot about Valentine's Day. We're in the times where you could look up something on Wikipedia or whatever and find out about whatever. I just never have. For whatever reason, I've just never looked it up. So honestly, I don't know the history of Valentine's Day. I don't know if the United States is the only country that celebrates Valentine's Day. I wouldn't think so. I would think that Valentine's Day is kind of like Christmas, where it's celebrated in at least, more than one country, I'm assuming, but I have no idea. I've never looked up Valentine's Day. Isn't it something to do with some Saint Valentine or something like that? Yeah, I have no idea about the history of Valentine's Day or anything like that. Like I said, which countries celebrate it. All I know is I don't even know what day it's celebrated on. I know it's today, but I don't know why it's today. I don't know if it's like because what's today? Today is February. What did I say? February 14th. Is it every February 14th? Is it, today's Saturday? Is it the second Saturday of the month? I have no idea. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. But it is Valentine's Day, so I thought I would mention it and say Happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. So the main talking point of this video is it's been 1 month since I lost my job. And so I just want to talk about, just everything, like how everything's changed, my feelings, my thoughts, my, everything. So in a general context, I would say, I guess it's important to note that, first of all, I'm 40 something years old. I'm going to be 44 years old, this year. And I've had a lot of jobs in my life, some jobs I've quit. Some jobs I've got fired from, so this is not the first job I got fired from. I'm not saying that makes it any better. I'm not saying it makes it okay or anything. I'm just saying it has happened before. So I've quit jobs before. I've got laid off from jobs before that, say the company wasn't doing well. I've got fired from jobs before. I've worked at jobs where the place literally went out of business, just two off the top of my head. I was working at a place called Dickey's Barbecue in Hesperia, California. And I think I got fired from that job. This was a few years back, kind of in the early stages of us being homeless. But not too long after I got fired, that place ended up closing down. And they just permanently shut down. I'm not going to get into it, but I talked about there was a lot of problems with that place. I mean, literally one day I went to work. It was like the middle of the day. And there was no manager. The store was locked and closed. I literally made a video about it. I was scheduled, and I went in to go during my scheduled time, and the door wasn't locked. And the manager was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on a delivery or something." It's like there's no other people, so it's just weird. Anyhow, so that's one. And then I actually worked at a Walmart before. For those of you who live in Victorville, California, there was a Walmart on Balsam Avenue in Victorville, California. I worked there as well, and I actually did, what was it called? Remodeling. They did like a big remodel, and I was part of the remodel crew. Like we redid the floors, all the shelving. I mean, like everything. Did a crazy remodel. Like there was ton of us there doing remodel, all this and that, and then it ended up closing. Like I think less than a year later, that Walmart just closed. Again, if for anyone who lives in or who has lived in Victorville, California, you remember the Walmart on Balsam Avenue, which is not a Walmart anymore. They end up opening Walmarts in other locations. But yeah, so my point is that during my my long 40-something years of life, I've had a lot of jobs in my life. First of all, I've had like over 20-something jobs in my life. Some of them wasn't even necessarily getting fired or quitting. They're just temporary jobs, and the temporary job just ended. Like I did construction very temporarily, just all kinds of jobs, right? Literally like over 20 jobs in my whole life, fired, quitting, and all this kind of stuff. And so going back to my most recent job, getting fired from there, obviously it's hard getting fired anytime because you're dependent on that income, and the people who live with you, in this case my girlfriend, my son, they're dependent on you getting that income, and obviously to pay for shelter or housing and food and everything else that you need. And so so when you lose that job, it's obviously difficult. So that's like the main first thing that you go through. It's like, oh dang, what are we gonna do now? So that's within the first, say, 24 hours, it's kind of a panic, and so I went through that, obviously, and fortunately here in the United States, there's programs and things for there's unemployment in the United States. For when you lose your job, you can apply for unemployment, and if approved, they could give you some money while you're trying to find a new job, right? Unfortunately, here in the state of Washington, the unemployment sucks. The government, every government thing here sucks, takes forever. It's just a massive headache. Because I literally remember, it's just been 1 month today that I got fired from my job, right? And literally that night I applied for unemployment that night. So it's literally been 1 month since I applied, and it's still pending. So that just shows you how slow and just terrible unemployment is in Washington State. But anyhow, so within the first 24 hours of getting fired, from losing your job, it's a panic. What am I going to do? What are we going to do as a family, etc., this and that. And so literally the first night, I'm like, okay, it's just, I know the process. That's my overall point in all this. Oh, my phone says it's getting low on battery. Sometimes I talk too much. Since I've been fired and I've quit jobs, and I've lost temporary jobs, the temporary job ended, I know what to do after I lose my job. The problem is it's a process. Anything government related usually takes time anyways, but it's like, oh, okay, I need to file for unemployment. And then that same night I started to file my taxes. I'm like, okay, I need to get all the information together, my W-2s and all this kind of stuff, and so I ended up doing that, and that's been basically a month since I filed that. And so so that's that was the first 24 hours. Panic. Okay, panic. What are we going to do? I need to start doing stuff. You need to start applying for a new job. You need to apply for the government benefits, see what you can get. So I did all that, and then after that, after the initial worry and panic, I mean, it's not like the worry and panic goes away, because obviously you still need money. Then it becomes this weird of readjusting to not working again. That's the other part. Obviously, especially the job that I had, we were working 12-hour days, sometimes 4, 5, 6 days in a row that I was working. And, your body gets accustomed to that. I got so accustomed to that, as anybody who knows who, works those jobs, your body gets used to waking up at a specific time. And it's just this weird mentality that you're in. Even on your days off, because sometimes we'd have 4 days or 5 days off or whatever. But even on your days off, it's like your mind is still in that weird work mentality. It's like kind of like a rubber band. When you have a job, it's like a rubber band. it's like you stretch out, and then even on your days off, it's like even though you kind of deflate, I guess, de-stretch, you're still never like, there's a little bit of tightness on the rubber band always, is what I'm saying. Even on your days off or whatever, there's always that tightness from the rubber band. It's never completely loose, if that makes any kind of sense. There's always that tension, is what I'm saying. Even on your days off, it's like, because you still got to go back after your days off, right? But when you lose your job completely, that tension gets released 100%, and not that you don't have stress, but you don't have stress from the job anymore. Obviously the stress shifts from, the job stress to, just monetary stress and a new job or whatever it is. But your body slowly starts to get out of that routine, so eventually, your body, your body adjusts to, okay, waking up at different times now. I don't have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning anymore. And, I'm not there at that job for 12 hours a day. And, so your body's adjusting to all that. And so that's kind of the second part. Like, literally, sometimes I would have, like, dreams about work, like, I guess nightmares, you want to say, just stress or whatever. And, so your job will pop up into your head, but that slowly fades too. So I don't even have subconscious thoughts about work anymore. Again, it's this weird process of, like, your body, what's that word? Your body, there's a word, detoxing. That's what it is. For anyone who's never, like, say you've been in your job for 20, 30 years and you've never left yet, you're still in your job, just to let you know, when you do, even when you retire or if you quit or you get fired or whatever, your body kind of goes through a detox. That's the word that I'm looking for. So that happens. Say your body detoxes from that job for the next probably 2 weeks or more, maybe even like 3 weeks to like a month before your body fully detoxes into where you're not in that work mindset anymore. And so that's been happening over the past month. My body's been detoxing from the job, so to speak. It's a weird word to use for leaving the job, but my battery's really low, down to 5%. So I got to end it. If all of a sudden it shuts off, it's because there's no battery. It's been 12 and a half minutes. So anyhow, it's just a lot of emotions, this and that. Not to mention, when you go to a job, whatever job you have, there's people that you interact with, unless you're just by yourself. But especially my job, there's hundreds of people there. Especially I was the janitor, so I interacted with a lot of people every day, and people that I would call friends, and talk to people. People tell me about their lives. I tell them about my life, and so that's another big thing that changes. All of a sudden, you're not in their life anymore, and you're not in their life, and they're not in your life anymore. Whether you retire or you quit or you get fired, like I said, now your life is completely independent of theirs. They are continuing to go to work and, do their thing, and now you're on a new path in life. It's literally like you go a completely separate path. They're still going one way, and now you're going a completely different way. And so that's kind of weird too, because you get used to the conversations and, hey, how you doing this morning, and how's your kids, and how just a small talk, or or even sometimes deep conversations that you have with people. Some of my close friends at work, they obviously knew my whole situation, about us being homeless and my son being autistic and all this kind of stuff. And so, and so again, all that's gone. And so that's kind of part of the detoxing too. I kind of need to hurry up because I know my phone's just going to shut off. So over this past month, that's what it's been. Again, the first 24 hours, it's panic. Then it's like, okay, panic, but I need to get stuff done. So you start, again, applying for jobs, applying for benefits, doing what you can. I know the motions, what you got to do when you lose your job or you quit your job or whatever. And so, boom, I just did that right away. Boom, that night I got to get this done. I got to do that. And boom, 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 I was doing it. And now it's just waiting. And then, like I said, you go through the detox and all this. I'm trying to wrap this up because I know my phone's going to shut off. So anyhow, those are just the things mentally and financially and everything that I've been going through the past month. And it's been 1 month now. It's been 1 month, and I'm on, like I said, I'm on a different path now, and just got to move on, get a new job. Maybe if God willing, we can move out of this city or one day or whatever, right? New path. Anyhow, I need to shut up. I talk too much sometimes. Thank you for watching. Again, happy Valentine's Day. Thank you to Jasper once again for the donation. Again, if anyone else would like to donate, there's a PayPal link on my channel page. Maybe you'd like to be my Valentine. I mean, I have a girlfriend, but if you want to be my secret Valentine, you could send me some money on PayPal. You'd be my secret Valentine. But yeah, we really appreciate everything you guys donate. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you to everyone who stayed for the full 15 minutes of watching this video. I love you guys. Love you for being here and for everything that you do for us. Really, without you guys, you know, my family wouldn't have, you know, shelter, you know, a home. We wouldn't have, you know, pubs for my son. We wouldn't have, you know, food to eat sometimes without you guys. You guys have done, you know, an invaluable service for us, for my family and I. You've helped us so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.